CMSD. My name is Mrs. Seaman and I'm from Charles Mooney School, home of the Mustangs, which is a wild horse. Welcome to my garden. I'm so happy to be in my garden that I like to read about it all the time. So today I picked a nursery rhyme called Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary, and this is the title page. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? With silver bells. It's a pretty flower. And cockle shells. Another pretty flower. And pretty maids all in a row. Another girl likes to plant gardens too. Her name is Lola, and this is a book all about her. Lola Plants a Garden. That's the title or name of the book. The author is Anna McQuinn. She writes the book, and another woman made the pictures. Her name is Rosalind Beardshaw. This is the front of the book. This is the back of the book. Inside are the pages. And here is the spine that holds it together. Oh look, here is the same nursery rhyme that we just read. Lola was inspired by it too. I mean, she had a good idea of reading about Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary. Here is our title page. And it has all of the tools that we need to garden, including a little friend. Lola loves her book about garden poems. Her favorite poem is the one about Mary, Mary. Lola wants to plant a garden, and Mommy says there is room near the vegetables. Lola gets books about garden from the library. She chooses her favorite flowers from the book. Mommy makes a list. They go to a garden store to buy the seeds. Lola and Mommy make the garden. The seed packets mark where the flowers are planted. Lola will have to wait a long time for them to grow. String of bells, and she finds shells and some old beads. She even makes a little Mary, Mary. One day, Lola sees tiny green shoots. She pulls up the weeds so the shoots can grow. Whew, that is hard work. Lola's flowers grow bigger and they open up to the sun. Lola looks very proud of her hard work. Daddy helps Lola hang her shiny bells. Lola finds Mary, Mary a special spot. It's just perfect. Orla, Ben, and Ty are coming to see Lola's garden. Lola and Mommy make cupcakes. And Lola wears her flower shirt, and Mommy helps Lola with her hair. Lola's friends love everything about her garden. They share the crunchy peas and the sweet strawberries that Mama grew. Then Lola makes up a story about Mary, Mary. What kind of garden will Lola plant next? Oh look, Lola made a rhyme too. Lola, Lola extraordinary, how does your garden grow? With flower seeds and shells and beads and happy friends in a row. This book inspired me to make my own garden. First, I went to the library and I got some special books. Then Lola made a list, and so did I. I picked up some pink begonia and some yellow marigolds. I also grew some sunflowers from seeds. I'm thinking about getting some petunia, some geranium. They come in all different colors. Some impatiens. It looks similar to begonia. And my favorite, the coneflower. Bees like coneflower too. Remember I said that I got some sunflower seeds? Well, I had planted them a while back and they're starting to grow. I have a little shoot right here, and if you look really closely, you can see the roots. My garden now, some of it is ready and I have to maintain it, and some of it I have to wait. These flowers back here will grow some pink flowers. And you can see I have a lot of dirt, and inside it are some flowers that will grow to be yellow flowers. Then I can add more decorations and celebrate with my friends, just like Lola. Thank you for coming and joining me in my garden. Let's see what is going on with Miss Bauer. Goodbye, friends.
Oh, hi everybody. What a wonderful book we just heard. I'm Miss Bauer and I'm here to talk to you about vegetables, herbs, and how to make your own garden right here at home with things that you can find around your house. This is romaine lettuce. It is a vegetable. Vegetables are leaves, stems, and roots of a plant that humans can eat. Some vegetables grow above ground like lettuce, cabbage, and broccoli. Did you know that broccoli is actually the flower of the plant? How cool! Herbs are vegetables, normally the leaf or the stem of the plant, that are fragrant. Fragrant means that it's something that smells strong to your nose. People use herbs for medicine or to add flavor to their food. Things like dill, basil, and mint are all herbs that you can find around your home. Gardening or growing fruits or vegetables can be something you can do inside or outside with an adult's help. And you can use it with things that you can find around the house. One easy way to start a garden is to use an old egg carton. Egg cartons are an easy way to start a garden because they are small, easy to move around your house, and don't take up much space. You can either get seeds from the vegetables that you eat, or you can ask an adult to go get you a seed packet from the store. Some examples of plants that are easy to grow in a carton are cilantro, basil, chives, lettuce, and spinach. So what you want to do first is take your egg carton and remove the top part of the egg carton. Then you'll have the bottom like this. And remember, if you're working with something sharp, make sure to ask an adult for help, but I like to use a pen. You can take your pen and poke holes in the bottom of your egg carton, unless you get it stuck like me, in which case you have to pull it out. When you're all done, your egg carton will have holes in the bottom. Once you poked the holes in the bottom, you can use the bottom of your egg carton and put it underneath the top. That way, when your water runs out the bottom, it won't drown the seeds. Then you can take your soil, and you can either get this from your garden or you can get a little bit from the store, and just add a little bit of soil to each egg carton. So what I'm doing right now is just taking and pinching a little bit of soil to put into each part. That way the seeds have somewhere to live. Now you don't want to pack down the soil too hard, so don't press hard with your fingers because you want to leave room for your seed. All right, and when you have enough soil in the bottom, I like to fill about to here. Then you take your finger and poke a finger-sized hole in each of your soil egg carton packets. Whew. Gardening is hard work. Once you're done with that, then your soil is ready to go and ready to put seeds in. It's important that you put it near a sunny window so that your seeds have energy to grow. Another important thing to do is to make sure that you water your plants every single day. If you're having trouble getting your seeds to sprout, something that you can do with stuff that you find at home is take either a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag and put it loosely over top of the egg carton. This helps your soil stay moist so that your seed has water to grow. Another really easy way to get your plants to grow really nicely is using leftovers from home. Now remember, this only works with a couple of plants. For example, romaine lettuce. Another type of plant you can do this with is a carrot. You could do it with celery. You can do it with green onion or chives, but you're going to need an adult for this part. Take your romaine lettuce or whatever plant that you're using, and you ask an adult to either help you or do it for you to cut the base of the romaine lettuce off. So I'm going to use my cutting board and just cut the base. See this? This is the base of the romaine lettuce. And you can take, a kitchen container, anything, a small bowl, as long as you have an inch or two of water at the bottom, and put your romaine lettuce in the container. Once you've done this, put it in a sunny place and it will start growing in a couple days. How cool! I wanted to show you guys an example of what it looks like when it's all done. This is an example of a romaine heart that's been growing for a couple days. If you look closely, you can see the roots have grown in the bottom and it's sprouted new leaves. If your plant starts to get really long like this one, that means it might be time to either eat the leaves or you can move it to the soil. So I will move it over here and place it in my soil so that it can grow even more. Make sure you make a big enough hole so that your plant has room to grow and it takes care of the roots. I'm going to put it over here for right now. Again, once you're all done with it, put it in a sunny place and you're good to go. Just watch your plants grow. Make sure when you are eating your plants that you either A, have an adult help wash them off, and B, only take what you need. If you take too many leaves off of the plant, it won't have enough light to grow really well and you might lose your plant. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for listening to me talk about gardening. Up next, you'll hear about water gardens. Bye!
Hi, my name is Mrs. Kessler. My students call me Miss Julie, and I work at Mary B. Martin. And today, we have already had a story about growing flowers in a garden. We got to see how you grow vegetables and herbs in a garden, and both of those occurred in soil or dirt, or some people even call it earth. But did you know that you can grow flowers in other places? Do you hear that sound? Where do you think I am right now? I'm at a pond, and if you look very carefully, you can see the green lily pads, and you can even see the pink water lily. That's a flower that grows only in the water. And that's another kind of garden, a water garden. And it makes me think of my favorite artist. His name is Claude Monet. And over his lifetime, he painted hundreds of pictures of water lilies. And, oh, do you hear that? I heard a bullfrog. I don't know if it's going to come out on the video, but if you heard a sound, that was a bullfrog. And so we're going to go back to my house now, and I'm going to show you how you can paint water lilies, just like the famous artist Claude Monet did. Come on, let's go.
Go.
Hi, welcome back. We're in my backyard now, and we're going to make a painting, sort of water lilies. And it's going to look a lot like what Claude Monet made. If you look over here, this is a poster I have of the artist Claude Monet. And this is his painting, one of many that he did, of water lilies. And see, it's kind of blurry. It is kind of dreamy looking. And that is a style called Impressionism. And that's how he painted. Now, if you look at this is actually a photograph that we took when we were over in the neighborhood pond of the water lily. And you can see that it is much, much more detailed. You can see that it you could actually even count the petals on the water lily. So that is not how Claude Monet painted. He did not paint in detail. He painted in blurry images, and that's what we're going to do today. So all you're going to need is some paper toweling. You're going to need scissors. You're going to need water, and you're going to need some kind of glue stick, hopefully not chewed up by your dog like mine did. You're going to need, or you could use rubber cement, or you could use liquid glue. There's all kinds of glues out there, and any one is going to work fine. I'm going to start with 2 pieces of paper towel, and this is going to be the water in the picture. And if you remember, Claude Monet had a lot of blue, so we get to scribble, which is kind of fun. And I'm just going to make some lines. See how I hold it sideways? That makes it a little bit thicker of a line. If I do it like this, I would have to make a lot more lines. So I'm going to go sideways. I don't want to fill the whole paper in. That's important. We need some room for the colors to move. That's called chromatography. And we want them to have space to move into the white. I'm going to put a little purple in it because I saw some purple in Claude Monet's picture. So we'll add a little bit of purple into our white. And I also saw some green. And maybe the green in his picture is the lily pads, or maybe it's a reflection because he liked to put a lot of reflections the way the sunlight would shine down on the water. So maybe it was even a reflection of the trees behind the water reflecting in the pond. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll these up. Watch this. Roll, 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 roll. I'm going to pinch it in the middle, and this part I'm going to dip. You don't want to get it too wet. You just want to let it start to soak up, and then you fold it. And if you squeeze it, you can see that the water is still coming out. And that explains my funny looking fingernails here because I made some of these before we started. I'm going to just dip this other end a little bit. And we're going to squeeze. And if I keep moving it around, I make sure that if there's too much white, I can put a color next to it like this. And then I'm going to unfold it, and we'll see the magic. So you can see that this has gotten, it's very pretty, it's very blended. I have some that I made earlier, and they're a little drier, so we're going to use those. Now I used 2 so that I could make it big enough to lay on my harder cardboard. And I would glue these down. But for right now, we're just going to lay them down. And now I'm going to make my lily pad. My lily pad, I'm just going to cut a circle out of the paper toweling. I'm going to fold it in half and cut a circle. I'm actually going to cut a half of a circle like this. And you can see it makes kind of a circle. Maybe it's a little bit more oval, but that's okay. Claude Monet didn't worry about things being perfect, and I'm not going to worry about it either. I'm going to use a little bit of green. And just for fun, I'm going to try something because I remember learning that 2 colors can make green. And I think those colors are blue and yellow. So let's put a little blue in here. Just a little. And then next to the blue, let's put some yellow. Because when that chromatography happens, or when those colors start blending and moving around, if the blue is next to the yellow, maybe it'll make some more green. I'm going to fold it and roll it up. Pinch it in the middle. Remember, not too much in the water because we don't want all of the color to come out. You can see when I squeeze, some of it goes in the water. Up. Did anybody see my water blow away? It's kind of windy here in my neighborhood right now. So my water that I did not glue down on my cardboard yet blew away. Here is our lily pad. I'm going to snip out that triangle because remember, they're not perfect circles. They're shaped like this. And I would glue this down on here. I'm going to make one more circle, and that's going to be my lily pad. This one I'm just going to go ahead and cut freehand into a circle. And I actually had it folded, so guess what I have? 2 circles. A little bit of pink. Let's do a little bit of red because I know red and white make pink, and I'm leaving some white. All right. Now let's put these together. Roll them up. Fold them in half. Dip. And smush. Let's see what these look like. All right, this is going to be our pink flower, and the best part is you just smush them and squish them so they look like a flower. So I pinch it in the middle and kind of push it up like that, and maybe I'll put this one behind it so it has a little bit of extra. And I'm going to use my liquid glue, put a drop down, squish that onto here, and voila! We have a beautiful water lily painting. I would say that's just as good as Claude Monet, wouldn't you? Okay, I hope you had a good time. Remember, all we used: scissors, some glue, and some markers, and something hard like a cereal box to put it all on. Have fun making your water lilies. Okay, next let's leap over to Miss Valentine, who's going to show us how we can care for our garden. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Now that we learned how to make a flower garden, an herb or vegetable garden, and even make a water garden, I'm going to try to teach you how to take care of your plants. I'm Miss Valentine. I'm an occupational therapist with Cleveland Metropolitan School District, and I have here with me my nephew, Theodore, that's going to help us out today. We want to learn a little bit about plants so we can figure out how we need to take care of them. Our first thing we need to learn is the parts of a plant. Theo, can you tell me what these different parts of this plant are? What is this top part? The flower. The pretty part that we like to look at is the flower. This part that the flower grows from is the root. This is actually the stem. The part that grows underground is what? Root. The roots. So a flower needs space for the roots to grow in the soil. It has a stem, and it has the big pretty part, which is called the flower. So some of the things that a flower or plants need to grow, what are the 3 things you remember that a plant needs to grow? Sunlight, soil, and what else? What do they drink?
Water.
Plants drink water, just like us. So here's a picture. Plants need sunlight, they need space in the soil for their roots to grow, and they need to be watered so they have enough to drink. Some of the ways that we can make sure that plants have those is to use a watering can to water our plants, and also we need to pull the weeds that grow around the plants. Weeds take up space in the soil and fight the plants for space so the weeds' roots can grow. So we need to pull the weeds up with their roots out of the soil. And if a weed gets too tall, then it can block the plant from getting its sunlight, and that's not good either. So one way to have our friends or kids help us is to have a race to see who can pull the most weeds, to make it a little bit more fun. And as you can see, any kid of any age can help pull the weeds. How old are you, Theo?
3.
3 years old. So he can help me pull the weeds. We're gonna play a little dandelion race game. We're gonna see who can pull the most weeds in 30 seconds from our grass, which is another plant we have to take care of.
wanted to show Theo before we started how much of the root we can try to get out of the dandelion, to pull the whole weed, root and all. So I have my gardening gloves and I used a gardening tool, but this is sharp, so it should probably just be best for an adult to use. So we're gonna work together, Theo and I, to try to pull all of the weed out of the ground. We're gonna race to start with 30 seconds to see who can pull the most weeds in 30 seconds, and then I'll help get the roots out afterwards. All right, are you ready? Do you know how to play? We're gonna count to 30 and pull as many weeds as we can, okay? All right, are you ready? Okay, we'll count. Ready, on your marks, get set, go! All right, 5 more seconds, Theo. How many more can you pull? All right, 3, 2, 1, stop. All right, let's go count and see who got more weeds, okay? Here, let's sit right here and we'll count. So we're gonna count to see who pulled the most weeds, to see who won, all right? Theo got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Theo pulled 9 weeds. How many did Aunt Kate pull? 1, 2, 3, 4. So who won? I think Theo won. He beat me. He pulled way more weeds than I did. So there's a lot of ways you can make pulling weeds a little bit more fun. The next thing that we're gonna talk about is we need to water our plants. So you could use a watering can if you have it, but we don't have one here, so I think we should make one. Do you think we should make one? Okay, great. We're gonna make a watering can out of a recycled item that we had at home. This is an old milk jug that we're gonna use, but you could use a jug from juice or a bigger milk jug if you had it, or just a water bottle too. An adult at home has to poke holes in the top, and then our kids at home can paint it to decorate it. Theo's gonna do a little finger painting, but if you would like, you can use paint brushes or a sponge brush if you have those at home. So we'll go ahead and get started, Theo. You can use your fingers to touch the paint and then decorate this however you'd like. Theo's wearing a little paint smock to protect his clothes while he paints. Nice. What color is that one? Blue. Good. And if we want to make a pattern or a design, an adult can help too. Let's do a circle on the top. Is that okay? So I'm going to do the outline and I want you to fill it in. Can you fill in the red circle? Good job. So he's using his pointer finger on his dominant hand. He's a lefty. All right, let's keep painting. All right, now we had to wait for our water bottle to dry, but now all of the paint is dry, so it's time to water our plants. Let's fill it up first. You might need an adult to help you with this. Let's try. We can do it together. There we go. It's nice and full of water, and we need to put the cap with holes on it on top.
Okay, can I water it by myself?
Yeah, we can water it all by yourself. We're gonna go close to the root of the plant. So we gotta go close to the ground because the roots are underground. Okay, and hold it. Can you hold it with 2 hands? All right, and dump it to get the water out. You might need to squeeze the edge a little bit. Can you squeeze it? Good job. We gotta water this plant for a couple seconds. All right, let's keep going. This is a big plant, so it needs a lot of water. Good. Do you think we should try another plant? Which one do you want to try? This one? All right, can you do this one all on your own?
How big is
This is a pretty big plant too, so it needs a lot of water. So you tip it over and you could squeeze. Good job. It does need a lot of water. That's great. All right, Theo, we're gonna keep watering the rest of our plants. Let's move to the next one to learn a little bit more about gardening.
Thanks, Mrs. Valentine, for showing us how to care for a garden. Hi, my name is Miss Marshall, and I'm a physical therapist from the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Today, you guys have learned so much about different types of gardens, how to grow a garden, and I'd like to go over some activities while you wait for your garden to grow. We're gonna go over 8 different poses, something that represents something that you may see in a garden. I got these poses from Pink Oatmeal, but before we start, I'd like to talk about breathing while holding these poses. So clasp your hands together and you're gonna rest them on your belly. We're gonna first start by taking a deep breath in through your nose. As you're taking a deep breath in through your nose, you're gonna feel your belly full of air. As it's being filled with air, your hands are gonna slowly start to raise out as well as your belly. Once your belly is completely full of air, then you're gonna take a deep breath out through your mouth. Let's practice this really quick. So hands on your belly, deep breath in through your nose, and then out through your mouth. Deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. So while we're doing all these different poses, it's really important that we keep that breathing pattern. Okay, I'm also going to show you with all these poses how to do this if you're in a chair, unable to stand on your own, or in a wheelchair. So let's go over the first pose, which is called seed. We're going to have the seat on our mat, and you're going to start kneeling. Your big toes are going to touch each other, and your hips are going to, or your knees are going to be as wide as your hips. You're going to lean back and have your resting on your heels. Then you're going to slowly bend forward, reach your hands out wide or forward, wherever it feels comfortable, and you can have your head rest onto the mat. When doing this pose, if this is too much for your arms, you can have them back towards your side or out wide, whatever feels comfortable for you. But before we hold that position and do our breathing, let's show what it would look like in a chair. So seated in a chair, we're gonna just bend forward and lay on our thighs and have our hands rest down onto the grass. This is supposed to be a relaxing pose, kind of just to get us started off. So let's get back into that pose. Toes, big toes touching each other, knees as wide as our hips. We're gonna slowly bend forward and have our forehead rest. We're gonna have 2 deep breaths while doing this. So I'm reaching forward, head is resting on the mat. I'm gonna take a deep breath in, and then a deep breath out. One more time. Okay, so that's our first position called seed. The next position is called sunshine. So you're gonna lay flat onto your tummy. You're gonna keep your arms right underneath your shoulders and your legs close together. You're gonna push through your arms, lifting your chest off of the mat. You're gonna look up and look towards the sky. I'm gonna show you what this would look like in a chair. So seated in a chair, you would put your arms either on your armrest or the back of the chair, and you're just gonna push through your arms and lift your chest up to the sky and look up towards the sky. Okay, we're gonna do that position and we're gonna have 2 deep breaths again. So I'm gonna be laying flat on my belly, arms right underneath my shoulder, and I'm gonna push through my arms, lifting my chest and looking up towards the sky. 2 deep breaths. One more. And back down. You should feel a nice stretch across your stomach when holding this position. Okay. So the next position we're gonna do is called butterfly. Something that you guys have probably seen maybe when stretching or doing other activities. But we're gonna start off by putting our feet together and bringing them as close to our body as we can. Then we're gonna slowly just put our knees up and down as if we're fluttering like a butterfly. Let's have 2 deep breaths while holding this position. Now, if you're in a chair, you could be seated, clasp your hands together, and move your elbows up and down as if you're fluttering with your elbows instead of your knees. So let's hold this position. Sit nice and tall, and let's flutter our little butterfly wings and have 2 deep breaths. Ready? In through your nose. One more breath. Great. Now the next position is called rain, and you're going to do this the same as if you're sitting in a chair. You're going to clasp your hands together, and you're going to raise them up towards the sky, and then you're going to wiggle your fingers as if it's raining, and then give me a big clap to show me some thunder, and then bring them back down. Let's do 2 of those. Okay, ready? Deep breath in. Wiggle those fingers, clap those hands, and deep breath out. One more time. Ready? Deep breath in. Wiggle those fingers, clap, deep breath out. So those are the 4 positions that we're going to be doing seated. Now we're going to do some stuff standing. So the first position we're going to do is called carrot. And this is just a very good position to kind of stretch and get us nice and tall. So you're going to clasp your hands together, and you're going to reach up towards the sky as tall as you can get, looking straight up, and take a deep breath in. Now doing this seated, it's going to look very similar. You're going to sit down, you're going to have your hands together, and you're going to slowly reach towards the sky and look straight up, and then bring your hands back down. So let's do 2 deep breaths with this. So we're going to clasp our hands together, reach up high to the sky as if we're a carrot trying to get all the sunlight we can get. Deep breath in and out. One more breath. Great job. Okay, the next position we're going to do, it's called toadstool. Now we're going to start by our feet close together. We're going to reach our hands up, and as if we're going to be sitting on a stool, we're going to kind of bend our knees back like this. We're going to hold this position and take 2 deep breaths. But first, let me show you what it looked like in a chair. So again, you're going to reach your hands up high, and then you're slowly just going to shift your weight forward and hold it just like this. Okay, let's do toadstool. Okay, ready? So feet close together, arms up towards the sky. Slowly bend those knees back. 2 deep breaths. Ready? One more. Great job. Okay, our second last pose is called ladybug. So we're going to start off with our feet close together, arms out wide to the side. You're going to slowly bend forward and lift 1 foot up. And it's okay to have a slight bend in that knee that you're standing on. And we're going to hold this for 2 deep breaths. Then bring your foot back together. Now doing it in a chair, you can represent this by keeping your arms up, bending your elbow in, as representing that leg that you're lifting up, and taking 2 deep breaths in this position. This is going to be a challenging one because it's going to be working on our balance as well. So feet close together, arms out wide to the side, slight bend on my one leg, and I'm going to kick my leg back. Take 2 deep breaths with me. Ready? One more. Good. Bring our feet and hands together, and let's try it on the other side. So we're going to lift our hands out wide, bring our foot back. Ready? 2 deep breaths. Great job. Okay, so for our last position, it's called tree. Now, starting this, you're going to bring your hands out to the side to kind of help keep your balance, and you're going to slowly lift 1 foot and rest it against the inside of your other leg. If your balance feels good in this position, you can bring your arms up like a big circle, like the leaves on top of a tree. I'm going to show you what this would look like in a wheelchair. So seated here in the chair, you're going to bring your arms out wide, bring a big circle, and you're just gonna hold it like this position. And we're gonna take 2 deep breaths on each side of our legs with this. So let's start off with arms out to the side. We're gonna put our weight on our one foot and then reach our other foot up. Bring our arms up into a circle and take 2 deep breaths. Ready? Next one. Bring our arms out down to the side and our feet back together. Okay, let's start with the other one. Arms out again. Our foot resting on our other leg. Arms up into a big circle and 2 deep breaths. Last one. You guys did such a great job. We went over 8 different positions, things that you may see inside your garden. And before we finish, I'd like to just take 1 deep breath all together. So as you lift your hands up, I want you to take a deep breath in, and then as you put them back down, a deep breath out. Great job! Now Mrs. Lasley is going to show us how to make a delicious meal using some of the vegetables that you may have grown in your garden. Thanks for joining me.
I'm Mrs. Lasley, and I'm an intervention specialist at Riverside School. And this is my daughter, Elle. And we are in our little garden. Now, we can't have a huge garden because we have a lot of wildlife that come in here and like to eat a lot of it, deer and rabbit. But we do have a few things growing in our little garden here. What is this?
A tomato plant.
Yeah, this is a tomato plant, and right here, if you can see it, this is a kale plant that's growing. Elle is in the midst of watering her tomato plants. And today we are going to show you how you can use things that you grow in your garden and make a delicious lunch or side dish. So we are going to leave outside and we're going to head into the kitchen. See you in a little bit. Hi, welcome back to the kitchen. Remember, when you're working out in the garden and you come back into your kitchen, the first thing that you need to do is wash your hands. So make sure that you put soap on your hands. Turn on warm water. Make sure you wash in between your fingers and all over your hands. Rinse it off. Make sure you turn off the water, and then you can dry your hands using a dry towel. And that means that you are ready to start cooking. So today, in our kitchen, we are going to use what you would grow in your garden to make a garden salad. So Ella's going to introduce to you what ingredients you need to make your garden salad.
First, we need iceberg lettuce. We need a cucumber. We need carrots. And we need a pepper.
Now the pepper we're using a red pepper. These peppers are not hot. You can use whatever type of pepper you want, green pepper, yellow pepper, red pepper. These are not hot though, even though they look like they are. Okay, so those are the ingredients that you need, and those are vegetables that you can grow from a garden. The next thing that you're going to need are some supplies. You are going to need a bowl. You're going to need a shredder or a grater. You are going to need a peeler, and then you're going to need a sharp knife. Now remember, when we're using a sharp knife, we need an adult assisting us so we do not cut our fingers. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing that you are going to do is you're going to take your lettuce. Now, we already washed our lettuce and all of our ingredients today. But make sure that when you get it home from the grocery store or when you get it out of the garden, make sure you run it under some cold water to get some of that dirt off, so you're not eating dirty food. Okay, so we're going to take our lettuce first, and the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to shred the lettuce. When you shred the lettuce, all you're doing is tearing into it with your hands. Okay, so I'll hold it, and Elle's going to shred some lettuce and put it in her bowl. She's going to take her hand and she's going to shred it. She's going to grab it and she's going to shred it and grab it. There you go. And then if it's too big, see how this is too big? she's going to take it and she's going to shred it into smaller pieces. And she's going to put it into her bowl. So you're going to take your hand and you're going to shred it. And then you're going to take your other hand and you're going to tear it apart into smaller pieces. Because when you eat a salad and you have bigger pieces, it's hard to get into your mouth. She's going to take her hand, shred it, take her other hand and shred it into other pieces. And you're going to do this until you have enough for yourself to make your salad. So it depends on how much salad you want, lettuce you want. Okay? So we have about a half a bowl of lettuce. That's pretty good. So I'm going to move my iceberg lettuce to the back. Okay? The next thing that you're going to do, I'm going to put the bowl to the side, is you are going to cut your cucumber. Okay? When you cut your cucumber, you're going to cut the ends of the cucumber off first. So I'm going to do that onto our cutting board. Okay? The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take the peeler. This is how we, at my house, like to eat our cucumbers, okay? Instead of, you can peel all the skin off of it. Some people like eating the skin. You don't have to peel the skin off of it at all, okay? But my family likes it a little bit fancier. So what we do is we peel one strip all the way down, like this, okay? And we kind of make it look like a zebra with the stripes. So and remember, when you peel it, you always peel away from you so that you don't cut your fingers, okay? And you might need some help using a peeler at first. If you're not used to using a peeler, it is kind of tricky at first, okay? So you probably want to peel about 4 or 5 strips, and you move the peels to the side. So you have a cucumber that kind of looks like that, okay? It has stripes on it, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut it into pieces. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want. My family likes it a little bit thicker, so they could just pick it up with a fork, okay? So Elle, you can finish cutting those. You could put those in the salad. You probably want to cut maybe 4 or 5 slices, depending on if you like cucumbers or not. Okay, and we can put that in the salad. And we're going to move this to the back too. Okay, we're on a roll. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is you're going to need your grater, okay? And then you are going to take your carrots. Now we have baby carrots. You can also buy full length carrots and peel them and then grate them as well. So you are going to use the bigger side of the grater, okay? Now you have to use your left hand on top, and then she's going to pick up a carrot. And when you grate this, make sure that you have an adult helping you because you can cut yourself. It's very sharp. She's going to take the carrot in her right hand. She's right-handed, okay? And she's going to go down on the grater, okay? And shred it. Up and down, up and down, up and down on the grater and shred it. Now make sure when the carrot gets too small, you put that to the side and then you pick up another carrot, because if you get too close to the grater, you can cut yourself, okay? And you grate as much as you want, how many carrots you want in your salad. Okay, you're getting close. Okay, you're getting too close, so put that down. Getting too close, okay? And when you pick up the grater, you'll see that it grated the carrots like this, and you sprinkle it into your salad. So I'm going to finish up the grating. To get a few more carrots grated into our salad. Okay, we just want a few carrots in our salad, and we're going to sprinkle them into our salad. Okay, and that gives us really good color, orange color. Okay, so I'm going to move our carrots to the side, and then our last ingredient that we're going to put in our salad is our red pepper. Now, red pepper comes with a stem. You want to cut off the top of the stem. I'm going to do that really quick. And inside you will find seeds. So you want to take your knife and you want to cut around the seeds and pull the seeds out. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so those are all the seeds inside the pepper. And then you have a hollow pepper inside that you want to rinse out. Now I rinsed one out ahead of time, so I already have one here, and I also cut off the bottom. So what you are going to do is you're going to cut these into strips. Okay, I'm going to do that. Cut it in half, and you're going to cut it into little strips like this. Okay, and then you're going to take those strips and you're going to cut them into small little pieces that will fit perfectly into your salad. That look like this. And I like using red peppers because it also gives the salad some really good colorful, a colorful look to it. And then we're going to take our salad and we're going to sprinkle our red peppers on our salad. I'm going to cut a few more up here. Okay, and I'm going to sprinkle that on our salad. So remember, a garden salad you can use as lunchtime. You could just use it as to eat at lunchtime, or you could use it as a side dish to your dinner. And in my family, we love eating salads. It's very refreshing, especially in the summertime. Okay, so that is our garden salad. The last topping that you want to add is probably what?
Tomatoes and ranch.
Okay. Do we have tomatoes out here?
No, we don't.
No, so we don't have tomatoes today, but Elle loves tomatoes, but you can add tomatoes to your salad. You can also add, that wouldn't be, we won't grow it in the garden, but you can also add cheese and croutons or whatever else you want your garden salad. But the last thing we always add to a salad is our dressing. And what's your favorite dressing?
Ranch.
Ranch dressing. Elle's favorite dressing is ranch, so I'm gonna get the dressing. Another popular dressing is Italian dressing, but Elle's favorite is ranch. So she's going to put some of the ranch dressing on her salad. Okay, that's probably enough. And she's going to take her fork and she's going to mix that up so the ranch dressing gets all over her salad. Okay, and she's going to take a yummy bite. You see how it is? How is that?
It's good.
It's good. So there you go. That's a really healthy salad you can make from using ingredients that you have grown in your garden. I hope you have fun doing this, and I will see you next week. Have a great day. Bye.
I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm in the Fulton, Memphis area.
My wife and I and our 3 boys live in Edgewater.
I live in the Lakeshore Collinwood Arts District.
I live in Camps Corner area
I've lived in the West Park neighborhood for 21 years.
for 5 years.
I've lived in Cleveland all my life.
37 years.
Majority of my life.
All my life.
18 years.
Cleveland's great. I mean, I love that there's always stuff to do. There's so many free things to do with kids.
Best city in the country. I love it. I mean, it's a good city. The school system is awesome.
I think Cleveland schools are making great progress. New things are happening at CMSD, you know, I want to be a part of that.
So the Cleveland Plan was legislation that was put in place in 2012 to be able to transform Cleveland's public schools.
The change in the school district in the last 10 years is one that's focused on high performance, that's focused on providing school choice for families so they can figure out what school is best for them, and moving into a period where we're acknowledging that education needs need to change for our students, for our economy, for our families, and how do we meet families where they are to do that.
The schools offer far more choices. They're more career oriented.
All kids don't learn the same. All kids aren't interested in the same things. I like the fact that we do have those choices.
If your child needs a particular approach or needs in the kind of classroom to help meet their growth, I think the Cleveland Plan is about providing those options too.
I've just been really happy with the preschool here. I'm just so grateful that I found this school and that my child is here.
It's nice. It's very
nice to know I can choose what school. I can have my options of going to each building and seeing what is the best choice for my kids.
When I did research, I was looking for the best schools that Cleveland had to offer.
The teachers are great. They work well with us. They constantly keep in communication with us, and that's really the key, is like that we're all involved.
It's nice to walk into a school and have them know who you are.
The structure of the academics is very, very rigorous, and I love it.
I am a 2016 graduate of Cleveland Early College High School on the John Hay campus. Choice for me was great because I had the opportunity to really take ownership of my education.
The high school graduation push and the increase is definitely a result of what the district is doing in order for the schools to thrive, because now you have better schools, quality schools, and when you can push that, students see that you care about them. Now they begin to care about their education.
We stand with 117 private colleges that are going to offer every student in the public school system of Cleveland, Ohio, free college tuition.
Say Yes to Education is an initiative in our city which offers wraparound support services to students and their families so that students can be most successful in their K-12 education. Probably the biggest headline of Say Yes is that it's going to offer last dollar tuition scholarships to students to any public 2- or 4-year institution, as well as accredited Pell-eligible career and technical trainings.
Families at this point have no choice to say that, oh, my child, I can't afford college, or I'm not going to send my child to college, because that opportunity is there.
The barriers, the social, economic, demographic, all of the things that especially a lot of urban kids have to endure, which prevents a lot of them from prospering, are definitely minimized.
It's amazing. I couldn't be happier with the way Cleveland is moving up.
We are doing what we set out to do in 2012 with the Cleveland Plan. We are actually seeing results, and that's a great thing. It's an incredible accomplishment. We don't see this kind of growth in the urban district elsewhere in this country.
The children are the future. Anything that we do, we have to plan for them to get a great education, a quality education that is technologically advanced so that they're prepared. And with that preparation, you can't stop us. Cannot stop us. So look out every other city, because Cleveland is on their way.
This is CMSD.
I am. Yo soy.
I am Cleveland's public schools.